recording captures the speaker as the center person. So, without further ado, let's move on to the two prepared speeches that we have for the evening. Our first speaker will be Rasih Bensan. And before we introduce him, I want to get to his evaluator, Bertay Fişekçi, to describe how he will be evaluating Rasih today.
Yes, Rasih will try to persuade us tonight. And here is the project. You can see objectives. Understand the concept and nature of motivational speaking. 4-step motivational method. I don't know if he will do this all because it requires more time. And deliver a motivational speech to persuade an audience to emotionally commit to an action. That means after this, we should be persuaded to act upon his claims. So Rasih is a great speaker, a long-time member, and just a newcomer to electronic environment. So I would like to welcome him again and wishing good luck.
Thank you, Bertay. So without further ado, Rasih Bensan has been giving private English, business English, French and Turkish lessons to foreigners for 26 years. He has been a member of Istanbul Toastmasters since 2014. And tonight he will deliver his 36th advanced speech titled Free Market versus Central Planning. Rasih, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. I hope I can be heard. Yes? Good. Now, just one word. The call to action, as I said to my evaluator, will not be calling you to do anything, but to let you abandon a widely believed myth, if you believe that myth, because I will debunk that myth tonight. I will attempt to debunk it. That is the essence of my persuasive speech. The controversy of whether the free market economy or a centrally planned economy, especially by the state, is better for the economic welfare of the people is a controversy that has been going on for over 100 years. And there is still no consensus about it. What do we mean by the economic welfare of the people? Which system distributes income more fairly? Which system allocates scarce resources optimally? Which system is the best for balanced economic growth? Setting prices and quantities of products, services, interest rates, foreign exchange rates, salaries and wages, such that they are in the best interest of the people, such that they are affordable by most people. The proponents of the free market system say that with no government intervention, with no state intervention, it is freely functioning demand and supply curves that serve this purpose the best. The critics of the free market system say this is a big lie. The free market system is actually a capitalist exploitation system of the people. The prices set by the free supply and demand in the product and service markets, the exchange rates, the interest rates are set so high by the free market that most people cannot afford them. And the supply and demand in the labor market set the wages and salaries so low that most laborers end up being poor. So what do these critics offer as an alternative? They say that the free market system should be banned. The state, by central planning, should set all the prices and quantities to be produced and consumed, not only in the commodity and service markets, but also the interest rates, the foreign exchange rates, the wages and salaries. To determine which system is the best, we need to be able to compare pure examples, enough number of pure examples of free market with an enough number of pure central planning. Unfortunately, this is not possible. There is no such thing as just free market, neither today nor in history. In every country where there was free market, there has also been central planning by the state. So we cannot look at the economic development and the economic welfare of the people in those countries where they had free market and state planning, central planning, side by side, and distinguish which was more influential in the economic development. Was it the free market or was it central planning? Because they existed side by side. Fortunately, we can do the reverse. We can look at countries where they had absolutely no free market economy, but only central planning by the state. Not today, because it doesn't exist today. We have to look at history. We have to look at the history of socialist economies. And there is no better example than looking at the Soviet Union, because the Soviet Union was a socialist state for 70 years with absolutely no free market economy and 100% centralized state planning. Now you might say, Rasih, this is a persuasive speech. Can you just persuade us just by giving us one example, just the Soviet Union? Well, actually I have a 1-hour PowerPoint presentation where I analyzed many cases. But in a 5 to 7 minute presentation, it is enough to concentrate on just one example, the Soviet Union, to prove my point. Because by itself, it is the best example of no free market and just state planning for 70 years. In the absence of the free market, bureaucrats in the state planning organization in Moscow were trying to determine the quantities and prices of products and services all over the Soviet Union. 20 million items in thousands of villages, towns, and suburbs. And how did they do this? It was an enormous task. It was an impossible task to collect so much data to set the prices and quantities that would otherwise in free markets be automatically set by the supply and demand without any need for planning. So the bureaucrats at the state planning organization took wild guesses. Even today, with sophisticated computers, you cannot make this analysis. Too much complicated data. They took wild guesses. In this village in the Soviet Union, they probably need this product so much, and we will set the price at a decent level. It will not be too expensive. In this other village, in this other farm, they probably don't need this product, so we will not produce it. These wild guesses were very, very wrong. And for that reason, all over the Soviet Union, there were surpluses and shortages of the same product at the same time. In fact, for many years, widespread starvation and famine developed in the Soviet Union. Stalin tried to overcome this with forced collectivization of agriculture, but he failed. And millions of people died of starvation, especially in the Ukraine. So if you think that the free market is just capitalist exploitation of the people, and the way to maximize the economic welfare of the people is central planning by the state, think again. Thank you.